Hello, I'd like to start this video off where I left off in the previous video, explaining that if you paddle into a wave as though you're a swimmer, it will improve your surfing. That is imagining there is a pole that runs through the middle of you, which you rotate around without moving side to side and keeping the arch in your back to a minimum. I did notice there are several factors involved in this, some of which make it easier and some of which make it harder. I would like to outline these in this video, starting with arms. So the arms. Obviously paddling a surfboard is somewhat different to swimming, and I'm sure there are a lot of techniques in swimming. The only one I really took away was to minimize the bend in the elbow as you're bringing the arm over. Swimmers have the luxury of rotating so they can keep their arm more in line with their body, but obviously lying on a surfboard that's going to be difficult. So you just minimize the bend in your elbow. If you have wings when you paddle, if you have a wide stroke, you will move more side to side. Also, according to swimming theory, the further you reach, the faster you'll go. I hope I've got that right. And that's really it for the arms. Next up is the pop-up. So, popping up. Well, this one is really straightforward. The only thing to know with popping up is find the sweet spot on the rail and then keep your arm perpendicular to the rail. Don't use a wing. If you keep your arm perpendicular to the rail, you'll find you pop up much more quickly. Not only does it help you to pop up, it can help you, or does help you, to duck dive. If you do this when you're duck diving, you'll notice you go significantly deeper, and with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to do multiple duck dives underwater. There is a video of John doing this at the bottom of a pool. I'm not sure if he's doing it in exactly the same way, but this is basically what I'm talking about. It is very, very useful. And that's really it for the pop-up. Next up is lying on the board. So, lying on your board. Well, this one is a little bit more complicated because it does relate to the center of gravity, which I would like to discuss in the next video, the final video. But it's enough to say for now, just don't arch your back too much. If you arch your back a lot, you'll swivel more side to side. If you arch your back less, you'll swivel less side to side. There is also a point, an optimal point where you're arching your back, which allows you to paddle more quickly through the water. And if you can find that sweet spot, obviously it's very useful. And that's really it for lying on your board. Next up, I'd like to discuss just practicing these things when you're not actually standing on your board surfing. Practicing this when you're not surfing. The only thing I used to do was, after catching a wave, I'd paddle back out, sit on my board, and I'd visualize catching two waves in exactly this way. Two waves to the left and two waves to the right. The first wave I'd visualize at normal speed, and the second wave I'd visualize in slow motion. I just thought this might help these techniques sink into my mind, just because I did find it very, very difficult to do. I imagine that there are exercises you could do on land to help you when you're in the water. I never got around to doing any of that, but it must be possible. And that's the end of the second video. In the third video, I'd like to discuss drive and the center of gravity. Thank you for watching.